Hi all! Today we're gonna bake some muffins, sourdough bread, and I'm gonna show you how I'm doing this. I'll show you main tips of sourdough baking. The video might be pretty long, but that's for sure. Will show the whole my process of bread baking, since I have a lot of questions from my friends how we're doing this and what's the tips or why I'm not succeeded this. So let's start. I woke up early today as usual, working days, and today I have some sourdough discard. I'm usually trying not to keep a lot of starter because it's not healthy for it. So if I have some discards, usually I bake something for kids. I have a lot of recipes with the discards or just with starter if you have a lot and you don't want to have and you don't want to throw it away. So this muffins is something that I usually cook very fast if I don't have a lot of time. So I just take some butter, eggs, starter, but initially you can do this without starter. That's actually my update, because starter is something that makes your much healthier. So if I have a chance to put some discards or just starter itself on some cookies, that's always fine. It's never make it worse, so it's always makes it better. So here we are with the muffins. I used some starter. Honestly, I even don't have a strict recipe for here, just doing everything how I feel, except of all other ingredients. So usually I use 200 grams of butter, 200 grams of flour, if I'm not wrong. But anyway, I'll add this recipe here in the description so you can reach it and use it. And by the way, you can use it without of a starter, just use a little bit less of flour. So consistency should not be like super liquid, but it should be pretty soft. And usually I add some chocolate chips, or today I forgot that I had some leftovers of cherries, and also I added them because my kids love cherries so much and they were super happy saying, oh, we have cherries today. That was definitely something new for this recipe. And sometimes I can even divide and have some part of dough with the chocolate chips and some parts with the cherries. So it depends on what your kids or you prefer. So you can add whenever you want here. But muffins is something super fast. I can quickly cook them before the school and give them for kids to school, and they always happy and they always share with them with their friends at school. So it's really simple recipe and that's super delicious. While my muffins are baking, I'm started preparing some breakfast for kids. They will have oats this morning. My youngest son really loves frozen raspberry, so I also put it on the table. But older kids usually use other stuff for the oatmeals. They can use honey or maybe some raspberry jam. But the younger one is a huge fan of frozen raspberries. Usually kids are super hungry in the morning, and when they wake up they ask for something to eat. So I'm the first person in the family who wake up, and I just started cooking some breakfast, because otherwise all of them will wake up and ask me constantly for food. Sometimes my daughter, especially during the summer when they have some vacations and I can sleep longer, my daughter can wake up and cook something, and that's honestly saves tons of time, and you can just sleep longer. I cannot say that it's doubled, but it's definitely working. I know that from my experience, but it's definitely bigger than it was in the morning. So I just used some water, a starter, and mixing it together. I'll add this recipe in description below, so you also can use it for your bread baking. Here I'm mixing the water and starter. You should mix it pretty well. And that's something I also recommend, to be pretty strict with the recipe. So if we have 100 grams of something, I'm using strictly 100 grams, because that might not work. But again, something that is very important is the quality of your flour. It might take you some attempts to find the best flour that works, and that works exactly for this recipe, because my first attempts were not successful because the flour was not appropriate, and my starter, I think, wasn't ready enough, because I prepared a new one for bread baking. But anyway, you should just try, and please don't stop if you haven't succeed for the first time. For dough, I also use some flour, and I give 40 minutes usually for water, starch, and flour to work together. So I mix them a little bit, not too much, and just leave it for 40 minutes to autolysis to happen. Autolysis, that's actually the process that helps the gluten in your dough develops better, and that's actually create this proper structure for your future bread. So here is 40 minutes have passed, and I'm adding salt and maybe 25 grams of water here, and just trying to mix really well the dough. I'm trying to create this rounded shape from the top to make it easier to raise. So I leave it for 30 minutes, and for next 2 hours I'm gonna do some stretch and folds that helps again develop this correct gluten structure. And while I have time, I just cooking some lunch, so using my sauerkraut, adding some onions with oil, and also baked some chicken breasts. So it's super simple lunch, but it's good enough for the family. Everybody loves it, so I don't have a problem to feed with it all family members. Also, I cooked some buckwheat and added some other vegetables. In Cyprus, it's actually not a problem. So I back to my dough, and here's I'm doing some stretch and folds. Unfortunately, this day I didn't have time for doing this correctly right after autolysis and right after I added some salt. So I just leave my dough, I believe, for 2 hours, and then just back to it and doing my stretch and fold. That's why I see that it's almost doubled in size. But anyway, I decided to do my 4 stretch and folds. because that's crucial. And after it's done, I just leave my dough perfectly for 4 hours or 3 hours. Again, that depends on your room temperature, but we should leave it and it should double in size. So my dough was doubled, and as far I did 2 batches, I just divided it into 2 parts and shape each of them separately, put them in proofing boxes and left them for one night in the fridge. A lot of my friends tried to bake a sourdough, but they lost interest after the first attempt. But I think the first month is actually crucial. That's not something you spend all your time on, but anyway, you should just start and get used to totally different way of bread breaking. But believe me, that's something really interesting because it's like a live culture, and every time your bread is different, and that's always an experiment. And for me, that really brings me so much joy to work with the dough and to shape it, to bake it, to see what we'll get as a result. So there's always some magic around. And from my experience, I really know that it's actually available for everyone. You just should not stop, even if you're not succeed at the beginning. So my advice here would be just try until you will get what you want. So next morning, right after I wake up, I usually preheat my oven to 250 degrees, and usually I'm doing this for, let's say, 30 minutes, or it might be even more. But also I put a Dutch oven inside, so it's super hot. After it's preheated, I just take it from oven, put my bread inside with a parchment paper, and bake it for 30 minutes in 230 degrees, and then leave it approximately for 15 minutes just to get the brown top. So I just take out the top of the casserole for the last 50 minutes, and it makes it really brown and beautiful. Thank you for visiting my channel and please subscribe.